How do you plan a wedding in the middle of a pandemic? The editor-in-chief of Weddingbells magazine, Alison McGill, has a few ideas, and she joins us this morning. And wasn't this the year that everybody who couldn't get married in 2020 was going to get married?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And people are also going to go ahead and get married, but we have seen what happened in 2020. People have started to push weddings as the pandemic has shapeshifted like we could never predict. And I'm here to talk about tentative times, as we call them, and how to forge ahead with wedding planning, because we're right in the midst of engagement season. Valentine's Day is on Sunday. That's a biggie. And that really earmarks the whole, November to February zone where people are getting engaged. And now they're wondering, what next? Can I get married this year, or when can I get married?
Okay, so if you really want to get married this year, I would imagine that small is probably the way to go, right?
Absolutely. So I've really been advising people of this really since 2020. I think there was a notion that we could get back to these very large celebrations. And of course, we don't know. And at this point, we can't. So think small. And if you can expand that out as restrictions lift and vaccines roll out, all the better. But I always caution right now, don't hit send on that save the date. You want to give people a heads up, but maybe give them a verbal one. Don't formalize it quite yet, just in case things are shifting. And of course, we're targeting more to the end of the year if you're looking for a larger celebration. Intimate ones we're hoping can happen this summer.
Mm-hmm. And what about booking in advance? Like, how do you even start with that? And how do the places that are holding weddings even deal with this?
Right. So we're dealing with a couple of things. We've got 2020 backup, 2021 bookings, and then people looking for 2022. So quite a juggling act. So my advice is, 2022 isn't that far away. It's looking like a great year. And if you want a bit more certainty and you want a little bit more you want to be able to plan for a larger celebration. I am advising 2022, and actually couples are really planning into 2023, so it's never too early, people. Couples, I really advise you, if it's on your radar to get married soon and you want to get rolling on things, get those dates booked. And also book a wedding planner. That's another thing we wanted to talk about, Annette, was this is the time where you really need someone in your court to navigate the waters, because they change weekly, monthly, daily. And having someone on board with you and making room in your budget for that, it's going to save you a whole lot of stress and organization.
And probably end up saving you money because deposits are something else that we want to talk about. You've got to read the fine line for every single person that you're hiring.
We do. And I mean, wedding businesses and vendors, obviously they have a business to run, and they've been in a situation too, because, they've had backlog cancellations, and a lot of them have adopted new policies. So really go over all these things with your vendors before you sign on, and make sure you have an understanding between each other, so there's, no discrepancy, no disparity. It's a different time to plan things and book things, and you just want to make sure you have all the details covered off and that everyone's on board. You're on the same page.
How are brides even getting their dresses right now? Because I can imagine that those stores are probably closed, right? And do you want to do a curbside pickup of a dress that you maybe haven't tried on in a few months?
Right. Interestingly enough, so many boutiques have pivoted to online, which is really great because they offer virtual appointments and they're very clever. And you're given like the tour, you pick out your dresses in advance. So of course it's a bit of a different shopping experience.
Yes.
But you can get the ball rolling with it. And a lot of retailers have launched online platforms for dresses. So people, again, are shopping in different ways. And I know we talked last time about how do you even buy an engagement ring. Like, it's amazing how we've adapted and what we have really come to be as the new norm and how we handle things.
Right, and how things will change. Okay, lots of great details online and in the magazine itself. Alison, always a pleasure to talk to you.
Happy Wedding Wednesday.